Hi everyone, it's nice to see you again. It has been quite a day. In the last 6 hours I've learned an incredible amount of knowledge about the Ukrainian banking systems. And the title of my presentation is actually about the banker's dilemma. And as I was listening to many of your presentations today, I had a little bit of a dilemma of my own because my Russian skills are very poor. But I learned as much as I could, I listened to as much as I could, and I realized that I'm just barely at the tip of the complexities that exist in the Ukrainian market with some of the challenges that you all have. But I am thrilled to be here today to talk to you a little bit about some of the challenges that I've recognized that are comprehensive across the financial institution industry, no matter what country you are in. There's some very common synergies that all bankers face. And if I could just boil them down to a very simple statement, my guess is if I talk to many of you, on some various level, you are trying to reduce cost, minimize footprint, maximize impact, and gain customer loyalty. And it's all about the customer and making sure that you're cost effective in reaching out to that customer. There's a few industry trends that I could point to before I get started on my slides. Don't worry, I don't have too many. But I wanted to talk a little bit about customers today and the customer adoption to really highlight one of the challenges that you face. And that would be in technology adoption. We all have our mobile phones handy. They're probably in your hands right now. I'm actually lost without mine. And that is evolving and becoming more and more prevalent in our society. There's a statistic that shows that mainstream adoption of the telephone globally took 50 years to adopt. It took 15 to 18 months to globally adopt touch technology and tablet technology. That's how fast customers and consumers today are expecting whatever comes down the pipe next in terms of technology to work, to be ready anywhere, anytime, anyhow. It's expected to work. It's expected to integrate into your operating systems, into your platforms, and it's supposed to work immediately. So you have huge demands on you, huge expenses on you, and a lot of work to do to figure out what is going to be adopted by consumers, what's coming next, what you'll need to integrate, and how you'll need to deliver, and obviously optimize costs through the process. I'm going to focus today specifically on the branch. When I started with Diebold, I hate to say it, but over almost 20 years ago, in my interview, I was thinking, well, internet banking is coming and credit cards are the big thing now. There's not going to be banks left that are going to be buying branch technology and buying ATMs because we're all going virtual. And in the last 20 years, we've clearly identified that that's not the case. As the branch evolves, it's going to take an evolving role, but I don't think that any banker today, and please jump in and tell me if I'm wrong, would tell me that the bank branch itself is going away. It remains a key component to channel strategy. It remains a key component to brand strategy, and it continues to be an interface that is absolutely critical to the experience of your customer. What has changed, and what I think the customers today are starting to migrate and evolve with you, is what that branch means to them. So many of the branches that I visited around the world today still operate the way that they did when your grandmother was banking there, with the teller line. You walk in, you transfer your money, you sign something, and you leave the branch after you've waited potentially in a queue for a while. But as the advent of technology has started to take hold, from this mobile device that we can't let go of to the tablet device that's nearby, phone banking, internet banking, ATMs, all of these are starting to evolve into an ecosystem. So they're not going away. One's not replacing the other. There's different values for each of them, and they're all starting to create within your banks an ecosystem of opportunity to touch your customers. And we use the phrase omnichannel in our industry, and I hear omnichannel a lot. Omnichannel has been traditionally defined as a consistent experience across the platform, whether it's mobile or whether it's phone or ATM or whatever medium you're using. And my team and I would argue that it's not about being the same, it's about creating a meaningful orchestration between those. And that's really where the future of the branch for your customer is going to go, is that meaningful integration of, I could start a transaction on my mobile phone, take that mobile phone to the ATM, take that mobile phone transaction to a tablet device, then I take the tablet into a bank and talk to the teller about it. The role of an omnichannel is changing, not from looking the same, but interacting and starting transactions in one place and finishing them in the other. As far as the branch is concerned, if you look at this chart, the richness of experience of the transaction is really what is setting apart the reason that a customer might choose any one of these mediums. And we've architected this chart to show you that the branch still remains a critical role in the most richest of experiences that your customer is having. So whereas they might have more frequent transactions, checking their balances on their mobile phone, doing some transfers on their tablet, or taking money out of an ATM once a week, twice a week, the branch itself, when they go into the branch, they're looking for something. They're looking for something more than just a cash transaction. They're looking for meaningful experience, whether it's financial planning or advising or sales opportunities for loans, or if they have a complex issue that they can't resolve through the internet banking or through a phone call to the bank. So when they get into the branch, there's a reason they're going. It's more complex, and they're looking for an extra level of support. Customers are looking for those multi-channel touch points, as we've described, and one of the cost optimization challenges that banks and financial institutions face is how do they find that correct touch point. So the branch still, what we're showing here is some statistics that we've done. We've done quite a bit of research in this, interviewing customers around the world. This is actually a global study that we did with consumers and bank customers, that out of all of the channel touch points that exist, 34% of customers still want to go to a branch. The branch is going to give them the greatest influence of satisfaction. So I've gone on a bit to tell you that branches remain important. I think you probably already knew that, and what you're trying to figure out now is how important are they and what are we going to do with these branches. The interesting statistic that we did learn, though, out of the research that we did is who was going to these branches and who was using these branches the most. We had a general assumption before we started this research that my grandparents wanted to go to the branch because they didn't want to adopt technology and they didn't want to get ahead of the game, and the younger generation, the millennials, those were the ones that were very happy with their phones, happy with their mobile device, didn't really want to be bothered with a banker, traditional banker. And interestingly, again, going back to the banking experience, it's the younger generations that are using the banks the most. They're the ones that are going and getting home loans for the first time, or getting school loans or car loans for the first time, and are looking for that comfort level. Money is a very, very personal thing, and there needs to be a lot of trust. There needs to be a lot of security. And for young people as well who don't have a lot of money, it's even more important that the money that they have is secure and ready for whatever advice they might need. So we did find that the younger generations are the ones that actually have a greater preference to start relationships, and the ones that are we call it the golden generation. They'll go into a branch when they need to, but they are actually adopting technology more and more readily. We call it now the T generation, the touch generation, where my 84-year-old father and my 3-year-old nephew can share the same tablet and have the same experience. It's a very intuitive tool and very intuitive technology that enables those types of transactions to connect much more regularly. So moving on to the types of branches that help optimize a footprint for a bank. So we went through, after we did the consumer research, we started to work with financial institutions on what kind of branch types were suitable for their organizational structures. And we narrowed it into four different types of branches, from instant, which are smaller, more high-tech, more limited services, but perhaps work in more remote environments where you have a hub and a spoke model, for example, where you can get more of these out there at a much lower cost, and show a local presence, show your local brand, so your brand is relatable to the entire consumer base. And then moving into, if you need a little bit more of a presence, moving into a convenience-based branch where there's staff that's supported when it needs to be supported. It's more prevalent in metro areas, and it still is a lower cost to operate model. Moving into what we define as a standard branch, a typical branch that I think we all recognize that is very relationship focused, that has all of the services that your banks are looking to offer, and offers full service banking. And then from a very, very high engagement perspective, some of the showcase banks, some of the more high-end, full-service, encouraging exploration, encouraging new connections, higher-level connections to the bank. So we've really narrowed into four primary branch types. Of course, there's various levels, and banking is a very not only personal to consumers, but it's also personal to the financial institutions that are reaching out and trying to create those connections. So there's varieties and opportunities to create an architecture within your financial institution that can put together a combination of these. And I've seen some very effective models in a hub and spoke environment where you might have a standard bank that offers, standard branch that offers all the solutions and all the services that are required, but then you move into ancillary areas that are a little bit less populated, that you might still want to get your branch out there, you might want to get your brand out there, offer limited services, but for more of the advanced services then the customers don't need quite as often, they can go to travel a little bit further for a higher level service at the time. So those are some primary branch types that we would look to talk with you about. And so putting these together, talking about what consumers are looking for around the world, looking at what different types of banks are doing around the world and categorizing them into those four primary branch types, I'd like to share with you a few examples of transformation around the globe. I'd like to start by saying that what we've done with the investments that we made in the research of our consumer studies, of the investments that we've done with our financial institution studies around the world, as well as our partners from industry partners like Cisco and Microsoft and other CIT companies, we've taken and packaged all of that research together. And with the partnership of our research and development teams and our product portfolio and management teams, in the last 18 months, we've launched the Diebold series technology, our new line of ATMs. They're next door. I don't have slides on them because I want you to go see them. And please take the time to have a demo from our new Diebold technology with the outstanding team at Mellon. It's really the best of breed of what Diebold's been able to offer in not only hardware, but also powered by the service organization that supports us. We have 8,000 service engineers around the world that are Diebold employees, and thousands of services partners like Mellon Ukraine that have the full service staff of Diebold and logistics behind us. So it really is best-in-class technology powered by Phoenix software. We're very proud of our new technology, and I hope you have the opportunity to take a look at it while you're here today. So the transformation around the globe, utilizing this technology, there's quite a few here. I could talk forever about brunch transformation, but I know we have a panel discussion and then we have cocktails. So I'll just highlight a couple of the stories here. The one I would show you, there are a couple of TD Bank in North America. This is an interesting branch transformation story because they incorporated the recycling technology and bringing self-service into the front office to enable customers to walk in and utilize the technology and really migrate their transactions to technology, putting more they call them tellers into sellers on the floor to be able to have a more advanced conversation. And then this is very standard. You'll see this through many of these stories. But one of the primary points of their work here was in a cost optimization. So they became an outsourcing partner, realizing that it was very expensive for them to manage their entire infrastructure on their own through all of the different vendors that needed to be managed in order to have an effective ATM channel. And so they've outsourced their entire ATM and self-service technology to Diebold and Diebold service, and it's working very, very well. So our outsourcing services are clearly leading the way in cost optimization in this case study. Belges Bank in Belgium. Belfius looked at cost optimization as well as customer service in a different way. They decided to take all cash out of the branch and not have any teller have connection to cash to make it more secure, to make the transactions more secure, to eliminate all of the efforts that a teller has when they have to deal with cash, and also to allow them to more conveniently connect with the customer on a different level. So they have a front entrance that's 24-hour access, that's the simple transactions of cash in, cash out. They have a level 2 area that has more advanced transactions, and then they have a personal banking in the back. So there's 3 very distinct places that they can go to have a teller interaction. And the third one that I'll highlight out of all of these transformations around the globe is Capitec Bank in South Africa. Capitec Bank is a very interesting bank because South Africa also is a very challenging market with some of the same challenges that the Ukraine has, and it's just vast land, a lot of space to cover, a lot of remote areas. It has large metro areas, and then it also has the complexities of trying to get to everyone and deliver the correct KPIs. It also has a very mixed populace of high wealth and low wealth customers. The Capitec in the last 10 years was a micro lending company, wasn't even a bank. And fast forward to today, they were just by the Lafferty company, a research company, named the world's best bank. They made an incredible strength from being a micro lending company to a bank and becoming, I think right now they're on target to become the 3rd largest bank in South Africa. They did that through incredible efficiency, through staying very focused on their mixed to low income customer base, offering technology to eliminate cost in their infrastructure, and keeping their customers very focused on a small set of transactions and delivering them at the very, very high quality with a lot of trust and a lot of consistency across their entire operation. So a very, very impressive bank that transformed really into a bank. So those are some examples. I'd be delighted to talk with you in more detail about them or any of these other transformation stories as we go through the rest of the afternoon. But I wanted to talk a little bit more about the research partnership that we have within our organization and one of our visions of collaborative innovation. So what we realized as we were doing all of this research was that we needed to take the curtain down and show you what we were working on. It didn't do us any good any longer, again, with the way that consumers are adopting technology today and the heavy, heavy demands that are coming on your organizations to integrate solutions quickly. it didn't do us any good to bring out a technology, hope you like it, and then have you work for months on integration. We wanted to be partners with our customers, so you know what we're working on. We wanted to be partners and with our industry as well, and make sure that we are bringing best of class solutions to you, our financial institution customers. So we have really opened the doors and shown the industry what we're working on in our R&D. And over the last couple of years, one of the solutions that we've worked on was a concept unit called the responsive banking concept. And responsive banking concept was just that. It's a concept, and I'll show you a video on it in a minute. And we have so many videos on this that we could focus on different tangents of it, because we put in everything new, everything shiny, everything a customer might be interested in, and we're really looking for feedback on what we think as an industry is going to stick. Which of these components of it should we grow and develop and move forward with in technology? And if you've seen some of our press releases, mobile integration using one of our Irving units is another example we can talk about. But it's really, it's a fun way for us to get to talk with you a little bit more about the branch of the future.
This is what we call our responsive banking concept. What we really did was kind of reimagine what a branch would be and packaged it into something that you could pop up in maybe a shopping mall or a train station or an airport or something like that.
This was a concept we worked on last year, from whiteboard to showcasing in 5.5 months.
We put together a team of, they like to call us hackers, hustlers, and designers, and basically just sat us down in a room and said, all right, reimagine what a bank branch would look like.
Well, it's pretty simple really. I mean, as somebody enters the space, the sensing technology around the RBC automatically makes the screens go completely opaque there, so we cannot see what's going on inside. And one of the advantages of this particular glass over the traditional switchable glass is that we can actually switch off portions of it. So, for example, for a video session where you may want a level of privacy but there is not personal data being displayed, you could just obscure part of the screen. So it gives us more versatility than some standard static environments.
When you walk in, we have a virtual teller named Zoe, and she'll ask you how she can help you. And you tell her all the list of things that you'd like to get done, and then she'll walk you through step by step when to tap your card, when to enter your PIN, where to put your cash, where to scan your check, whatever you need to do. All of your private information is held on a horizontal screen that you look down to see, so nobody can see inside and see what that private information is. And that's actually why we have the privacy glass.
The Phytos glass, it's the first of its kind. It's very much more versatile than what's out there today. And really there wasn't kind of any other option when we wanted to kind of create that sort of wow factor and kind of really draw people's attention to what we're trying to do here.
Phytos began with the technology that Dr. West had developed at Kent State University. We saw potential applications for the technology that he had.
I think the main thing overall is we provided Diebold with a solution that they could add functionality to these switchable windows. Before we were working with them, they had windows that either were totally on or totally off. And we came up with simple solutions where we could design patterns, customize patterns exactly as they wanted them, and introduce those into the windows. And it's been a fun process working with Diebold. It's just been a great partnership.
Ultimately, we all had the same vision and ended up putting together what's behind me here, and turned out to be a pretty cool piece of technology.
I've talked a lot today. I've talked a lot about the different types of branches. I've talked about different types of consumer requirements, consumer needs, and the fact that we all need to stay, the differentiation for you, again, is staying in front of the customer experience, making sure that your customer experience is always new, very relevant for your customers, but also that you're optimizing your costs, you're optimizing your branch footprint to make it as effective as possible for your bottom line. We recognize this is a very complicated exercise. We have a team of specialists, a team of advisory services that are here to help you. that would love to spend time with you, get to know your branches, your dynamics, your footprint, your requirements, your challenges, and work with you on designing whatever it is that needs to be designed, whether it's repositioning locations, whether it's redesigning the infrastructure of the bank. We have the expertise. We have a group of, I think, about 25 ex-bankers that have lived this and experienced it around the world, and have created an expertise in working side by side with banks to create that advisory service to support you in that journey. And it really is a journey. It never ends. Some of the banks that have taken us up on it on this service have really partnered with us in some very, very creative and innovative ways. So I'd like to end the presentation today with one more short video.
To Diebold, there's no impossible mission. There are challenges. With experience in developing technology for innovative projects, Diebold is a leader in bank automation in Brazil, with more than 100,000 ATMs installed. And now, Diebold innovates once again with a concept that will completely change the way customers use an ATM. The ATM wall. It is both a video wall and a self-service terminal, providing a brand new experience for users. When users get close to the terminal, they are recognized by system sensors. The side walls become opaque, providing full privacy and more safety. The user is identified by biometry and approximation to the card reader. ATM wall is easy to use and fully interactive with touchscreen technologies. Users can access everything they need as if using a tablet or smartphone. It rotates, drags, expands, minimizes and selects items with a simple touch. On the screen, users can withdraw cash, pay bills, view statements, and find all banking transactions in a modern, user-friendly, and fully intuitive interface. For withdrawals, it is possible to choose the bills by value by simply dragging them to the cash dispenser. After the transaction is completed, the customer walks away and the side wall immediately becomes transparent again. The possibilities to use videos and images on these screens are endless, which makes ATM Wall a powerful tool for customer communication. Once again, Diebold takes the lead with a revolutionary concept and unique experience, always connected to the future. Diebold has overcome yet another challenge. Diebold. Innovation delivered.